BYOD, bring your own devices to Networking 101. Kind of funny how things kind of go full circle, right? You know, back when I was younger, when somebody'd say that it was BYOB, bring your own beer, you know, you're kind of into a cheap party and stuff, but you did it because you knew that everybody's going to be hanging out there, and it's usually going to be the kind of the place to go, and you can mix and match and different kind of beers, you know, yada, 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 right? Today, fast forwarding to kind of the grown-up BYO, bring your own devices, you know, things have kind of changed a little bit, but the root is still the same. People are picking out what they want, and they're kind of bringing it to the party. They're bringing it to our network, and they're expecting it to kind of work, right? I mean, look at the stuff we have on here, right? Got this, you know, nice tablet here and stuff. Everybody's seen these on the network. They go out and pay for them. Of course, you know, everybody's got their own phones and stuff that they're bringing on because, you know, that most companies don't even pay for phones anymore, right? They tell you to go out and buy your own phone, and they'll pay for the service. So, you know, everybody's bringing their own smartphones on, expecting full service on these things. Check this out. This is Rob's laptop. You can probably tell with the cool TechWise TV Breaking Bad type thing happening here. Cisco didn't offer a Mac Air because Rob travels a lot. He wanted his own device up here, so he went out and bought it and wants to work on the network. Of course, why shouldn't he? He should be able to bring his own devices on the network, and they work. We're IT, we should service that, right? All right. The problem with that stuff is how do I control my most important asset in any company? The most important thing here is not necessarily, and let's be real here, it's not the people, it's not the equipment, it's the intellectual property, it's the data. It's the data inside these devices that I need to protect. And so as IT folks, the one thing we have to realize is that when we're bringing these devices out, we don't own them. We don't control the software they put on them. We cannot say this is what you can or cannot use. You can say it, but nobody's going to listen. I mean, let's be serious. There's so many hundreds of thousands of applications that are writing a rule set to limit, you know, what kind of apps, kind of people are putting on these things. Come on, man, it just isn't going to fly. It's too much work on us, and we know it ain't going to happen. The one thing we need to understand is that we've got a partnership, a peering agreement, a lease agreement that we're going to allow our data, our intellectual property to be used and accessed on this device. And that's really the key to BYOD, is that our data is going to be temporarily on these devices. See, back in the day when these were ours, we could act some pretty cool rules, right? I mean, we could have restrictions. If somebody lost it or stole it or whatever, we could lock it out from afar and do that. But now, you know, if somebody leaves a company, their device goes with them, as it should. They paid for it, right? So their device goes with them. I want to make sure that this data also doesn't go with them as they're leaving the door. This is very temporary. It's a lease. You're going to only use it for a certain amount of time, and we want to have the ability to kind of pop this off their device anytime that we need to. We also want to make sure that we've got the ability to limit where these devices are actually going on the network as well. This is, like I said, this is Rob's device and stuff. This device is very handy. It's got a really cool camera on it as well. So it allows him to attend a bunch of different conferences and stuff. What I don't want to happen is him to be on a WebEx call and somebody see behind him that now we're in the middle of doing some chip development or something, and since it's an HD, people extract that out and actually start looking at seeing what's going on in the background stuff. Because let's face it, we all do it. How many people, when they buy Blu-rays or DVDs, love to watch a blooper reel or the making of reel, right? That behind the scenes stuff is really important. So we got to be able to limit where these are going. Again, somebody's personal property, our control only goes so far. So we have to understand that our limits are really based upon this data square. Now, the default pat answer has always been, well, you just write a security policy and you make everybody sign it, and they write their name, and everything is all relaxed and groovy, right? And you do need that for sure. Absolutely positively, you have to have a security policy replaced for regulatory requirements, just for covering your own tail, even because HR just says so, right? But the real truth is I need a device policy that's going to allow me to keep these devices off the network if they have malware on there. Now, thank goodness, man, thank goodness. We've been doing NAC for a long time, and a lot of folks out there have some type of posturing assessment tool, whether it's Cisco's or somebody else, doesn't even matter. But we're all aware of posture rules and posture assessment on our network, and we're able to enforce that. That's one piece of the puzzle. The other piece is how we're controlling this inventory, this asset control of these devices, and making sure that we can control the flow of this data and retract it out if we need to, because that's the big part of BYOD. I know a lot of IT managers want to fight this on the network. And look, everything in IT goes in a circle, right? I mean, we've seen, we go from mainframes to, completely decentralized networks. And now what are we doing? We're bringing everything back in with virtualization stuff. We went from wireless, where nobody wanted it and stuff, and then what was our big problem then? Rogue access points, right? Users were bringing in devices because they wanted to work wirelessly. They wanted to be untethered. Speed didn't matter. They wanted to work the way they wanted to work, right? We should really enforce that. That should be something that as IT, in my opinion, that we should always facilitate. We're part of the services industry, right, man? We try and help and provide people service to that data. People are BYOD and they're bringing their own devices because this is how they want to work. They will feel more comfortable. They'll work a lot faster. It's securing this stuff, right? I'm a big, big fan of Cisco's AnyConnect client. I love it because of its simplicity. It's quick. You can have it always on. We can retract it. We've got really good data management and control with that type of device. And when you couple some other BYOD solutions that we make, of course, you really do have a nice way to control this out. Either way, whether you use our stuff or somebody else's, doesn't really matter. When it comes to BYOD, understand it's on your network. It's time to get on with the business of getting IT done and actually supporting this instead of fighting and arguing about it. Let's move on. Let's get her done.